So what do you do after living in Gangnam, the synthetic heart of Seoul, for over a decade? Move out to the suburbs, I guess. This video is supposed to be about what Anyang is, but the things that Anyang is aren't all that different from Seoul's other suburban satellite cities. So let's start off with what Anyang isn't. Anyang isn't Seoul, but even that's not too clarifying because Gangnam isn't Hongdae, isn't Chamsil. And when you put it like that, Anyang is kind of like Seoul. After all, it has most of the same big brands that you can find in Gangnam. It's got many restaurants, cafes, bars, and amusements that you can find in Hongdae, and it's got a big fat park like in Jamsil. No lake though. But here you've got all of that crammed in between 2 subway stations rather than like 80. Obviously, I don't hate big cities. I lived in Seoul for almost 15 years and New York City before that. There is something relaxing about being able to get lost in a crowd. But crowds also bring noise and long lines and bumping and squeezing and sneezing and coughing, and that was all true even before 2020. That's what Anyang isn't. Anyang isn't crowds. There's something special about often being the only one in a restaurant or at the gym or in a park. And whenever I miss being inundated with the sights and sounds and smells of other humans, Seoul is just a 20-minute subway ride away.
The motto of Anyang is livable city, proud citizens. And yeah, sure, why not? It's livable, certainly, at least the east half where I live, along subway line 4, which is also referred to as Pyeongchon Shindoshi, or sometimes just Pyeongchon. Old Anyang is to the west, along subway line 1, which includes Anyang Station. Old Anyang has Anyang-chan, a stream that flows into New Anyang and splits into 2, with Hagichan North along the edge of the city. Hagichan is okay. It's a stream. It's sparsely maintained and it's got that smell that's kind of common of city streams, but it also has fish? There are actual fish in the stream. I don't know. How do they survive? Why do they survive? East Anyang is roughly the stretch of city from Pyeongchon Station to Beomgui Station, as well as blocks of apartment complexes to either side. The city continues uninterrupted northeast to Indaeguan Station, which is technically part of Anyang, but is not considered part of Pyeongchon Shindoshi. We don't talk about Indaeguan. Go further in that direction and you get to Gwacheon, the city between Anyang and Seoul.
Gwacheon is great if you're looking for a satellite city that's 99% expensive apartment complexes and pretty much nothing else.
Heading southwest from Anyang, Gumjeong Station is technically part of Gunpo, the next city over. And if you head west from Old Anyang, you bump right into Gwangmyeong, which has an IKEA.
The nifty thing about Anyang that you don't get in Seoul is that it's surrounded by mountains on all 4 sides. There's Gwanaksan to the north, Surisan to the west, Cheonggyesan to the east, and Kwangyo-san to the south. And there's Moraksan right before Kwangyo-san.
Go up any rooftop in Anyang, and going up on a roof is a lot easier than it is in Seoul, and you can usually see all 4 mountain ranges pretty clearly.
Does a city surrounded by nature end up being cleaner and cooler than Seoul? Not particularly. We get the same pollutants, the same rain and humidity. Forecasts say it's about 1 to 2 degrees cooler, but you can't tell. You certainly have fewer people breathing down your neck, and that contributes to a cooler feeling.
Speaking of cooling down, the Central Park does have this nifty arrangement of water spouts, fountains, and streams going on in the summer, not to mention some stunning light work at night. The park is sort of the endpoint of a sequence beginning with City Hall, going across the street to a skating rink and basketball courts, and ending up at the park. It's hard to appreciate this layout from ground level, but if you get an aerial view, you can see that it's a nice bit of city planning. Wedged in the middle of this is Acro Tower, a brand of office-style apartments, and the tallest structure in Anyang for the past 15 years. You got like that and Hill State Mobius looming over the skyline, and that's kind of it.
Here's one quirk about Anyang. In Seoul, you got big grocery stores like E-Mart, Lotte Mart, Kim's Club, and Home Plus, which close every 2nd and 4th Sunday of every month. In Anyang, all these groceries close on the 2nd and 4th Wednesday of every month. There's one other major way that Anyang distinguishes itself from other Seoul suburban satellite cities.
Suwon's mascot's a frog. Goyang's mascot's a cat. Get it? Goyangi. Gwacheon's got these 2 chestnuts. And Anyang? Anyang's got great man. 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 Anyang's got great.
Stop, stop, stop. What? Look, I've heard of Jeju oranges, I've heard of Chuncheon takabe, but I've never heard of Anyang grapes. I don't see grapes being sold on the street or not in greater quantities and at better prices than other types of fruit. And this podongi, this mascot, I've never seen it, I've never heard of it in the year I've been living here or in all the previous years when I visited Anyang. I don't know what's worse, that they came up with this thing or that they haven't used it at all in any promotions or advertising. Oh, the first one is worse. But here's where I'm wrong and also maybe kind of right. Apparently Anyang used to be known for its many grape vineyards, but we're talking like the 1960s. Over the decades, thanks to urbanization and development, the vineyards went away and allegedly there are only a dozen or fewer left. So if you're willing to go back a few decades, grapes are absolutely representative of Anyang, except this mascot was created in 2015. On the other hand, I have literally no idea what else could be an Anyang mascot. Maybe like an anthropomorphic acro tower or four mountains with smiley faces. For the sake of accuracy, maybe the mascot should be the ghost of Grape Man. Somebody who once had something to brag about, but has been lost to time and urbanization. Ooh, dark. On the whole, Anyang is absolutely, utterly livable, and I do mean that sincerely, unless you happen to be Grape Man.